Good morning. Today is September 21st, Wednesday, 2022, and I'm making a video that I'm probably going to title something like Anatomy of a Bad Trading Decision. But this is a week out from when this happened, and if you're getting a bit of a white noise, sorry about that. It's very warm in here. I've got some fans going, plus the computer fan and all that. Anyhow. I haven't been making any pre-market or post-market videos for a while. I've been very ill. I'm getting better, but anyway, it's been a week, and hopefully this will be a coherent video that makes sense. I had a lot of ideas after this happened and reflection of what had happened, and I'm not sure that they're all going to be manifest the way I had imagined them back last Friday. I'd say it was. I wasn't feeling good then either, but that may or may not have played into some of the decision making. But that's neither here nor there. I made them then, so I want to talk about that. And but there were other psychological factors that were going on, and I may be able to touch on that as well. So the day in question. Excuse me, I got an intruder. Come on. Okay, so the day in question is Thursday, 9/14, and this is a daily chart here. So it's going to be right. So this is last week. So Friday, Thursday, right here. So this down day, okay, was the day, and the trades took place during the formation of the initial balance. Actually, it was really within the first 35 minutes, at the top of the hour, actually. So it was the last 5 minutes of those 35 minutes, and that's kind of important as well. But anyhow, I want you to notice this down bar the day before. Now we had a gap down, and we had this down bar. So one of the context is everything here, and one of the focuses of the video is going to be on how we've got to keep sort of a hierarchy of importance in the context of the current day, and not in the overall context. The overall context is there was a lot of room for some acceleration if we started to take some of this back. But in the context of the day and the news events that were upcoming and have been upcoming, maybe it was not going to happen, and so maybe not put as much importance on that until it's very clear and confirmed that it's happening, the short covering or whatever. So, all right, let me get to it here. So that was the daily chart. This is our market profile chart, and this is our profile. Here is, now I'm going to go ahead and split off C period because I don't really need it. Okay. So all the levels here are for that day. I saved them and I reloaded them. We've got the overnight high here, and you can see B period took out the overnight high by 2 ticks. Now, the trades that I want to talk about, the bad decisions that were made, were taken at, well, I don't have the times. Maybe I do. No, I didn't write down the times yesterday. I tried to make this video yesterday. I kind of lost my focus when I was doing it. So they were right after the TPO opened up. So B period opened up down here at 69.5. We can look at the minute chart in a second to see exactly how that kind of played out. But I took 2 trades with the same idea, and they were relatively within about 3 points of each other as far as where the entries were. 2.5 points actually, 2.5 points on each try, and well, I don't remember how the first one went. I think, but the second one I think was working really well. But either way, it was allowed to turn into a loser, and that's where the bad decision really came in. So let me make this. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make this an exciting video. I just can't. seem to do that today, but there may be something in it that's instructive. So one of the things coming into the day is that I noticed, first thing I remember, is that the overnight had a exponential poor high. Now, so many people look at poor highs as like, oh, we must be coming back through there. Yeah, there's that. But when you start to get them built up, let's say they're 3 wide, 4, 5 wide, sometimes they're longer than that. Very often what's happening is there's some heavy lifter that's able to cap the market there or hold the market underneath. You know, it's like the sellers are getting, the buyers are getting stuffed. They're getting nothing for their money. They're just trading into a wall, right? And that was my impression when I looked at this. My first thought, it's sort of it's usually right, but I'm going to show you I failed to do something. So that's one of the first things I want to talk about. And I'm going to pull in a minute chart. So I did have the profile split out. Now, when you split out the profile, I didn't really think about it too much, but these are really far apart in time. Okay, on a minute chart, it's a lot more apparent. So I'm going to pull the minute chart in, and I'm going to have to scroll back. I don't think I lined this one up. Yeah, here's 9:14. Okay. Now, give me a moment, please. Okay, I see what's going on. I'm coming into 9:14, and I need to be going into 9:15 over here. That's the problem. Went a little too far. Here we go. Okay, there's our first swing high in the overnight right here. Okay, I'll even make it. I'll shrink it up here. Our second hit. And every one of these little divided areas is 30 minutes. So the market will make another move to the upside. I would love to just pull it right in, but it'll go too fast and too far. All right, here we go to the upside here again. There we go. Now we touched again. Okay, I'll just go a little further, then I'll pull all this together. You can see it was quite a bit of time, and it spent less than a minute at this price, hardly hammering at it. Okay, so it was just simply rejected at that price. I'm going to pull this in and make it scrunched up as I can. In this case, it spent about a minute. There's only one bar at that price. Okay, a minute. Up here, initially it spent like 3 minutes, but this was quite an area that it was really rejected out of. You know, this is like 3-4 points. No, I'm sorry, that's 2 points that it really didn't really get any traction in at all. In fact, the volume there is very thin. So there's a reason I'm telling you this. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a tick chart now, and the reason I'm bringing in a tick chart is because on a tick chart you can spend less than a minute at a price and have a lot more bars because you might be getting a lot more trades. Okay, well, and even on the tick chart it didn't. It was pretty much one bar at each one of these things. What I really would have liked to have seen, and I was imagining it to be without investigating. I did not go back and look on a minute bar tick chart. So important safety tip. You know, I should always do that just to confirm it. Unless I watch that poor high or poor low form by itself, I should do that. I would have wanted to see something like this, where tried, failed, and then eventually came off. Tried, failed, tried, failed, and then that would have been a lot more indicating that once price got above that overnight high, there's probably going to be a lot of fuel. There's going to be people underwater pretty big time that might capitulate, and there might be fuel to the upside. Now, coupled with that, okay, we have the overnight high. We have the overnight high right here. Okay, then we have these single prints and the prior day's high. That's a pretty good excess high, but it's also next to. Scoot this in. All right. Again, here's the prior high day. All these single prints, all the way up to this area here, even arguably this VPOC, but I mean there might be some congestion in here because it's volume. But the point is that's quite a lot of, that's like getting up to, let's say, 95. So we're talking from 30 some points, or actually, and we're also this close to the prior high of day that it's very easy to imagine that if we take out the overnight high and we get some explosive effect because of stops up here, that we would roll out. We're in what do they say, spitting distance of the prior high a day. Okay, this was a day that we were feeling that the daytime frame were in control. Okay, references were being respected, and the tempo was such. Now, when we did take out the overnight low and came back in, the market started moving upwards, but it really went quite a ways. So here's the value area, right here's the value area low, all the way to the value area high. So as the time is wearing on, as you can see, B opened way up here. We're expecting we're going to get the 80% rule, the special situation where the odds are really, really good that once we've moved out of the value area and back into the value area and a new TPO opens, that will move to the other side of that value area, which is what happened. But if you notice, what happened was A period came up this far, that fast, and we've nearly taken back this big value area already in one TPO. Well, that's starting to feel like we might go further. That's a big range, right? So we've already taken back most of this value area, the first period. So it's feeling like we're going to the upside. I'm laying this groundwork as to why the idea was to get long up here, and why the idea was to stay long in spite of some initial misgivings, I guess you'd say, where it doesn't look like it's going to keep going. But the bad decision was made by looking at all the things that we're saying to, all the reasons to stay long, but ignoring the ones that were saying that no, that's not going to work. Boy, it took a long time to get to that point. Sorry about that. Again, I'm kind of feeling a little sluggish here. So, all right. So to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, B period open here at 69.5. Okay. I got long at 70 in the first period. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the minute chart here. And we're going to look at B period, and we're going to see how that played out, okay, from when I took the trade and got stopped out. Okay, I already have these circled where I entered. Now we've had several. I didn't shorten this chart to just back like I did the TPO chart. So that trade. Let's see here. Now this is not making sense. Okay, that's 10 a.m. and B period opened at, let me do this. B period opened right here, 69.5. Okay, there's 69.5. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, the green bar is B period. It kind of looks like it's still inside this field over here. So 69.5. I got long at 70 and took it all the way up to the overnight high, through the overnight high, and this is where things went sour. Okay, now this is a really good trade. I'm up 77.5 from 70, so that's 7.5 points. It's a really nice looking trade. I didn't take anything off, and it came all the way back in, and that's a little bit to be expected, a little thing here, but you know, it came back at me, and I think at this point I was a little bit, you know, in the headlights, and I don't remember exactly in the price action how it seemed to be behaving, but I was thinking, you know, okay, we're going to come back through. We're going to come back through. Next thing you know, it gets down back to my entry price, and I'm thinking, you know, what's going on here? We really, you know, we're coming quite a ways off of the overnight high here. And so what I'm forgetting is that what didn't happen. We didn't get the acceleration up here. We were rejected from this area pretty sternly in the overnight. And then it was rejected again pretty sternly. So why wouldn't I expect the same thing to happen? You know, it may be very many of the same traders are still involved in the market at this point, this early on. So seems to me over the years, the last decade, the overnight crowd has changed a bit. You know, there's quite a few players that I don't know where they live, their time zones and whatnot, but they seem to be involved, and they're not just. I don't like to minimize any trader, but you know, like me, I'm kind of chump change. You know, so it just seems like there's some money. That's what I'm saying. There's some people that have a little push and pull, and anyway, so these personalities, you know, we always want to know who we're trading against, because that helps understand what their motivations are, what may happen next. You know, is it going to be a reference, or is it going to be a stop run, or as they're called, or some kind of game to take out people. Anyway, all right, just a moment. No. Okay. All right, so had a little visitor. All right, so it came down, and I had to take a loss on this trade, because it could have been catastrophic if I didn't. I got stopped out, and I still liked the trade, and I thought, okay, well, and one of the other things I was not doing was realizing that, you know what, we've got this. We had a big move down the day before. Okay. All right. Sorry, I've got a little person who is wanting to my attention. All right. So had a big move down in a balancing day, and then, you know, again, we've only opened and come back, and so we're sort of still balancing really. And it was to be expected that we might have a balancing day after such a big move. Remember, there's a massive gap down too, and we're also back in a little range where there was a lot of trade. So the context is we have a big week coming up this week. It was Thursday. Friday's quadruple witching. You know, that this might be a range-bound day, or a normal day, or, you know, a day that we just we kind of trade in or around value of the day before, right? So the idea was, again, to keep going higher and higher. All right. Now, I got back in. Okay. So I got back in at 67.5. Got back in a little lower. I still believed in the long side of things. Okay. Now, let's look at what happened there. So I got back in right here, 67.5, exactly right there where the green circle is. And I put these, I think I put the bar, well no, this would have been on this bar. I got in like I got in like right away in D period, and then let's see, this one was right about here. Anyway, you know, it was a little slow going, but you know, got some traction initially up to 72.5. All right, so that's a nice trade. Oh, it came back at me, took a little heat, but it started to you know, gain, and it's just really sucking me in. Now I'm thinking like, okay, we're building value up here. Yeah, I got this. We're coming back up, but look at this slam. You know, it's like bam, bam. Now, I mean, this quickly in the second minute. The first one was no big deal, really. It's still within this little channel of the upside. All of a sudden, this one opens, and it slams down right through my entry point. And now it's like, you know, you flatten or you're going to get stopped out. And I took a loss. I didn't flatten. I got stopped out. So this was information that I ignored, and it cost me big time. This was real information, and I should have been anticipating we might have a lower high. And if it started to look like we were going to have a lower high, to be very careful. And also, you know, there's also a little head and shoulders pattern right here. 1, 2, 3. Well, you know, it's a little sloppy, but you know, you can see once it broke this little neckline, you could call the neckline here or here, it really slammed down. And I had 2 good trades prior to this, really good trades. I was doing well, but that's not how it ended. That's how it started. Because at this point, I ignored what the market was telling me in real time. I had my trade on, I had my idea set, and things changed. Now I will tell you another thing that was going on. Remember I was going to hopefully work in some psychology here. I don't know that this played a huge role in it, but how do I know? I don't normally deal, I don't like to think of myself as, I want everybody to win, so I don't like to think of myself as a competitive person, but I was aware of, I was in a chat room, and I was aware of another person that was short, and they were short. Now this trader has been around a bit longer than I have. They're sort of famous, written a book, everything, and they were short, and I thought, well, that's great. You know, they can make money, I can make money, but because that happens often. But I kind of wanted to be right. You know, I remember thinking about it just slightly, be like, that'd be kind of cool if, like, I hope my long works. I hope it works anyway. But if it would have worked and theirs didn't, you know, I could see there'd be a little bit of a good feeling attached to that. You know, not that they lost, but that, like, you know, they use a different methodology than I do, and it just. You know, I'm always looking for things that that help me have confidence in my trading, because the market can be a very intimidating place. You know, it's very easy. You're always there's always the chance that you're gonna get things handed to you. You know, no matter what kind of work you put into it, it's still handed to you. You know, like try again, buddy. You know, and you thought you had this right. You know, nope. We're gonna low tick you. So we're gonna stop you out, and then we'll let you be right. Yeah, you were right, but you're out of the game now. That kind of thing. You know, there's just the market's a very mean place. It can be perceived to be mean, and so that's a confidence buster. You know, you can't be arrogant, but you do need confidence. Arrogance can get you so far, but you don't want to be arrogant. You definitely need to be confident. If you're not confident, you're going to hesitate. If you're not confident, you're going to maybe sit on your hands way too much. You're going to miss opportunities. You know, We have to have confidence in our trading ideas. So I don't want you to think that I was wanting to beat somebody. It wasn't so much that. It was more like I respected this person. I respected their. Let me say it another way. The fact that they were short made me wonder that I shouldn't be long, right? But I also maybe it's more about stubborn. I'm a bit stubborn. I didn't want to take that information and throw away my idea, like get out of the trade. Like, oh, they're short, I must be wrong. And that was right for me to do. I shouldn't have gotten out of a trade because they were opposite me. I never sat with them and traded in person. I don't know what their account looks like. I don't know anything about them really, other than that they're well respected and that kind of thing. And I needed to stick to my guns, but I did think for a minute. It's like, well, I'm not going to get out of my trade, and if I end up being right, that's gonna be confidence reinforcing, at any rate. So I just wanted to try to work. There was an element of that. I mean, this was all like split-second thoughts. They just like come right through your head. You can't help them. Just like if you look at, I don't know what to say. You look at something and you have a thought about it that enters your mind because it's a reaction. It's not really something you're dwelling on. It's just like your reactive thought. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up because I really wanted this to be a lot shorter, as I always do, but I've just having a little bit trouble kind of putting it together in my words. I'm quite again, I'm not 100% right now. Working on it. So anyway, there you go. Anatomy, a bad decision. The context was, we had come so far, and once the overnight failed, the odds were very high we were going to rotate back within value. Now we actually did come all the way down here, but ultimately, even though it was a big swing, rotated back up again and rotated back. I mean, it ended directionally down in a sense, but it was really a kind of a big rotation with a downward tilt. But my idea was, because I was sucked in by this motion to the upside, which was so long in A, and all this potential up here, and we also, another thing I want to throw in, I look at where we open in a TPO. If we open in the top third of a TPO, that can be an indicator, or especially when we open this close to the highs of a TPO, it could be the indication that we are going to continue that direction rather quickly, and then you're looking at the range of the prior TPO. So this prior TPO, if we're opening here, we're probably, the range is going to be extended way up here. Well, not so in this case. The information was presenting itself to me, and I ignored it. I was fixated on some other data points, and made a bad decision. I should have exited. I should have taken profit. Number one. Number two, with what I didn't take profit on, I should have moved to break even or flattened or whatever, instead of firing up a stick of hopium and getting stopped out, right? So, all right. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to get back to making videos. It may be a while. It does take some energy. Right now, that's not I'm not in big supply of that. So thank you very much, and make a great day.